What if you knew Jesus was hungry? What would you do to feed him? Jesus said, "Feed the hungry." Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest, the Jesus way. Today's Jesus Said comes from Matthew 25. We'll be reading verses 34 through 36 from the New King James translation. And in our Bible plan at bible.today.church, you'll find a different command of Jesus like this every weekday. So reading from Matthew 25:34, "Then the king will say to those on his right hand, 'Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me.'" Now, right after this, the disciples asked, when did we do this? Or actually, the characters in this story asked that, when did we do this? And Jesus responded, "And the king will answer and say to them, 'Assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me.'" Now, as we talk about this, it's really sobering to think that we have an opportunity to serve Jesus. Well, it brings up the question, why aren't we doing that? This whole discourse here in Matthew 24 and 25, Jesus is talking about the end of things. And he talks about some of the signs of the end, rumors of war, that lawlessness and iniquity will increase. And there are, a lot of big sins in the world today and have been throughout history. But in 2 Thessalonians 3, Paul says that before Jesus comes, that there would be a falling away, even in the church, among Jesus followers. Now, what would that falling away look like? Well, what does not falling away look like? Well, it looks like obedience. And is that what we're known for as Jesus followers in our culture today? Are we known for being obedient to the things that Jesus said? Just ask someone who doesn't follow Jesus what church people are like. Well, it's sad to say, but let me tell you what you won't hear. You won't hear, well, they're all about feeding the hungry. They're all about welcoming the stranger. They're all about clothing the poor, visiting the sick, and going to the prisoner. Unfortunately, we often hear the opposite. And why is that? Well, I think it's because we think following Jesus is about getting our needs met. That it's the preacher's job or someone else's job or the church's job to feed us. I mean, how many times have you heard that someone was, changing churches because I'm just not being fed? Well, that's not what Jesus meant. In fact, when Jesus told Peter to feed his sheep, and of course we know that his sheep hear his voice, but feeding the sheep is what we are called to do. But his sheep don't just listen to the words, they do what he said. And Jesus said, "Feed the hungry," not show up to be fed. Well, actually, Jesus said, "I am the hungry. You either did or didn't feed me." So how do we ignore Jesus? How do we ignore this command? Why do 25,000 people a day die of hunger-related causes, and yet we still ignore what Jesus said? Now, I don't claim to have all the answers or to even be doing all I can to obey what Jesus said, but we have to stop being content with doing less. In the area where I live, in the county, in Parker County, there are 176 churches, according to the latest stats. And we won't stand before Jesus one day to answer for our church attendance or the scriptures we posted with one click from a Bible app or what bumper sticker we have on our car. We're going to answer the question. I was hungry. And what did you do? And I believe that question is more than just physical hunger. It's also the hunger for truth, the hunger for relationship, and for some, the hunger just to be noticed. Jesus said, feed the hungry. How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it really does mean a lot when you like it, when you share it, with your comment. I appreciate you and helping get the word out. I hope that you have an amazing day. And I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest, the Jesus way. And remember to follow Jesus today. Love first.